are fast approaching an event unprecedented in our history, a tipping point known as a technological singularity. When this happens, the world will change forever. A new chapter in human history will begin. In physics, the singularity is a point where gravity is so intense that even space and time begin to break down, like the Big Bang or the black hole. But it also refers to a time when computer power grows without limit, surpassing human intelligence, sweeping aside everything in its path. It may be 20 years away, it may be 1,000, but most experts agree the technological singularity is inevitable. The fear is, if it's uncontrolled, the results could be catastrophic. When the singularity arrives, we cannot predict what these super intelligent machines will do. They will have their own goals and stop at nothing to fulfill them. They may even choose to eliminate everything that stands in their path, including us.
The question that we physicists are asking, and this is the question: what is the fourth wave? The first wave was steam power. The second wave was electricity. The third wave was high-tech. The fourth wave, we're not sure. But we think it's going to be a combination. Hold on a second. We think it's going to be a combination of biotechnology, artificial intelligence, and nanotechnology. So let's say a few things about information. And Ray Kurzweil will amplify this in his lecture. This is Moore's Law, which says that computer power doubles roughly every 18 months. What does this curve mean? Today, if you get a birthday card in the mail, you open it up, and it sings, "Happy birthday to you." There's a chip in that birthday card. That chip has more computer power than all the Allied forces of 1945. Stalin, Hitler, Churchill would have killed to get that chip. And what do you do with it? You throw it away in the garbage. Look at this curve. Look at 1969. We put 2 men on the moon. Ever see these old videotapes of the man in the moon shot? Look at those old computers. Oh my God. You're not going to send me in outer space backed up by those computers. How much computer power did they have in 1969? Less than your cell phone. We sent people into outer space backed up by the power of today's cell phone. And now take a look at 2020. When you start to look into the future, you now know that this curve predicts that chips will cost roughly a penny in 2020. That means you now know the future of the computer. The future of the computer is to disappear, to be everywhere and nowhere.
Today, I want to address one urgent question as computer power races ahead. What happens when the machines become smarter than us? You saw what happened in The Terminator. You saw what happened in Blade Runner. What are we going to do about it? Well, I'm going to give you a radical new solution, and that is merge with them. First, this is the human brain, the most complex object in our sector of the galaxy. 100 billion neurons that can be scanned by MRI, neuron for neuron. This means we can digitize all the information we accumulate during our lives and upload it into a giant mother computer, a vast database of all human knowledge, a resource we could share by downloading programs we want to give us instant knowledge. So when the singularity arrives, we will be in control. By merging with machines, we will enter a new age of superhuman existence. That in the post-human era, we become Homo superior. We become a new species. We're talking about humanity becoming like the gods. What do you think? And how many want to sign up?
Not long ago, distinguished science presenter Dr. Michio Kaku put a video online explaining why he thinks that cryonics is bogus. Now, you'd expect that a man of that learning and knowledge and experience, if he talks about a subject like this, would have done his research and get things right. Unfortunately, just about every single point in that video was incorrect. First of all, let's start with the title. It's not cryogenics, it's cryonics. Cryogenics is a much broader term to do with the engineering of low temperatures. Cryonics is a specific term dealing with the low temperature preservation of human beings for possible future revival. The second point is that he kind of throws offhandedly the idea that this is something maybe for millionaires or multimillionaires.
It's been the ambition of millionaires to have their heads frozen in liquid nitrogen, and at some point in the future, when we can cure many diseases like cancer and things, we'll simply revive them.
In fact, the vast majority of members of our organization are not remotely that wealthy. I signed up myself when I was a poor graduate student, 22 years old, using the mechanism of life insurance, which is what most people use. A couple of dollars a day, that's well within the means of most people. More importantly, Dr. Kaku repeats the old canard that we hear all the time about cryonics, that it can't possibly work because ice will form inside the cells, expand, and rupture the cells.
Well, the devil is in the details. First of all, if you suddenly freeze the human body, the problem is that ice crystals begin to form inside the cells. As the ice crystals expand, they rupture the cells. So in other words, freezing the human body seems to work only superficially. But if you look at the human tissue under a microscope, you find massive tearing and disruption of cell walls.
Now, that's really not what happens. First of all, cells are not bottles, they're more like bags, and they can expand. But in fact, when we reduce temperature, ice does expand, but only by about 9% in volume, or about 3% in length. That's pretty much biologically insignificant. Now, rather than ice forming inside the cells and expanding greatly, what actually happens is the cells will dehydrate. Water leaves the cells, and ice forms between the cells. So it's true that there will be some ice formation and damage from that to the cells, but it's not from expansion from within. If it was really as simple as that, though, if that was something that destroyed the chance of any kind of biological viability, then we wouldn't be able to do a number of things that we do in fact do already today. There are quite a few tissues that we quite commonly freeze and thaw and use successfully, such as heart valves, major blood vessels, human skin, sperm, and embryos. All those things are frozen and thawed and have not been destroyed. Finally, it really is not true, and is not fair to say, as Dr. Kaku does, that cryonics organizations advertise that they can help you live forever.
So I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying that those organizations that advertise that you can live forever this way may be misleading the public, because when the body is thawed out, what you have is dead tissue.
We don't talk about forever, and I challenge him to point to anywhere on our website where we say that. What we're doing with cryonics is essentially extending emergency medicine. We're picking up at the point where today's doctors throw up their hands and say, look, I've tried everything. I've shocked the heart, I've done defibrillation, I've administered various drugs, I've done CPR, and this person, maybe I could bring them back temporarily, but they're pretty much gone, so we'll call them dead. We're stepping in at that point and saying, hold on, let's stop things getting worse by storing this patient at very low temperatures where biological activity halts, wait decades if necessary, and let the far more advanced technology of the future have a chance at fixing their problem and reviving them. So it's really just an extension of emergency medicine. Dr. Kaku, after listening to the points I've made, I hope you'll reconsider your position and withdraw your position that cryonics is bogus. If you still disagree, or you're not quite sure and would like to discuss this further, let me extend this offer. We will fly you here to Scottsdale, Arizona, show you around the Alcohol Life Extension Foundation, show you all the details of what we do, and if you like, we can sit down, have a debate or a discussion on camera. Are you up for it?
So it seems that you're not only open to enhancing your own brain as it is in the physical substance of it, but you're also open to uploading your consciousness into a computer, perhaps.
Why not? And again, I don't think this is going to be possible for many decades to come. Perhaps later in this century we'll have a very good connectome, but at the present time we can barely get the connectome of a mouse, okay, let alone a human being.